What I learned flipped everything I thought I knew about eczema on its head. Because unlike the mainstream view, that eczema is your body attacking itself or that you'll just have to manage it forever, this perspective actually made sense. According to medical medium, eczema isn't just a gut issue or a food sensitivity. It's driven by a virus in the liver, often Epstein-Barr, that feeds on toxic heavy metals, leftover pesticide residues, and inflammatory foods. When the virus feeds from these things, it releases dermatoxins, a toxic waste, and those are what get pushed out through the skin. And that's what's causing the burning, itching, flaking, and oozing. Not a broken body, but a smart one, a body that's always and faithfully trying to protect you. Because when the liver is overloaded, it pushes those toxins out through the skin and far away as possible from your vital organs, where those toxins would cause far more damage. The skin, in a sense, becomes the sacrifice. And yes, the symptoms are awful, but the truth is the skin is a better casualty to receive those toxins than our precious organs like the heart, the brain, and the liver. And how amazing is that?
I've seen people, they can't even put a shirt on. Their eczema is so bad, they're suffering unless they know about getting the copper out. So important, you guys. It really is. Eczema and psoriasis are signs of someone dealing with an elevation of toxic copper inside the liver, where Epstein-Barr is also present because you need a pathogen such as Epstein-Barr to feed off of the copper and the copper byproduct. And then when the virus that everybody has inside of us feeds off of that copper, it releases a dermatoxin. So the people with eczema and psoriasis have the copper, unlike somebody else who doesn't have the copper. And the Epstein-Barr is feeding off the copper, releasing a poison. When the poison's released, it's called a dermatoxin. And then that dermatoxin goes to the skin and it creates those eruptions and the rashes and everything else. You'll find out there's a trendy thing where copper is good for you, they say. It's not me saying that, but copper is good for you. We're missing copper. We don't have enough copper. You can drink out of copper things and thermoses and mugs and all these different stuff. And people think that that's a good thing. They think, well, in ancient times, they had copper, and copper held the water, and people used it as an antimicrobial. But they also got copper poisoning, which created madness. You know, that's a thing that people don't realize. So the exposure to copper is so great. So I want to hit that right away because I know so many people are like, you need copper, you need copper. Zinc gets rid of your copper, you need copper. This guy over here says zinc gets rid of copper. You know, you hear it all the time out there. Have you guys heard that? What people don't realize is we're inundated with copper. First of all, copper is high in all the fruits and vegetables and herbs and spices. Copper is in everything. It's in meat. It's in chicken. Copper is in every vegetable. Copper is in avocados. Avocados are high in copper. Copper is in everything. And there's two forms of copper that are in everything. There's the natural trace mineral of copper that's in the earth. And then there's the industrialized copper that's in the earth. Two kinds of copper is in food. We have so much access to copper, we are not copper deficient. We are far from it. We are over inundated with copper. We have too much copper and it wreaks havoc in us. It's one of the toxic heavy metals. Copper. Viruses. They get into the liver and they feed on copper. There's Epstein-Barr varieties that get into the liver and feed on copper. You can have too much copper in your liver. Psoriasis and eczema, elevated copper. You could have some mercury too, but elevated copper. You don't know you got copper, but you do. So let's get the drawing board out for a second. Got your liver right here. That's your liver. All right. Here we go. In your liver, got pathogens. Everybody's got a certain amount of pathogens in the liver. Everybody's got a certain amount. Keep that in mind right there. Psoriasis and eczema sufferers, they got a high content of toxic heavy metal in their liver. Keep that in mind. Doesn't mean mercury, it means copper. So we're talking about copper. Copper oxidizes. You see the green right there mixed in with the red? See the green? Copper oxidizes. As it oxidizes, viruses such as Epstein-Barr feed off of it. They feed off of it. And as they feed off, they release a dermatoxin. And that dermatoxin is copper-based. The dermatoxin ends up on the extremities and skin everywhere. Liver Rescue has a lot of details about eczema and psoriasis, so let's take a look at that. If you're an eczema and psoriasis sufferer, get this book. I beg of you. I beg of you. I mean, I'm begging for you to get this book. Not because I want the 2 cents from this book after Amazon takes theirs or whatever the publisher, not that. Go to the library. Forget it. Don't buy it. Just go to the library. I beg of you to go to the library, get this book out for free right away if you got eczema and psoriasis. Do yourself a favor. Okay? It'll make me happy if you do yourself a favor. I mean, why else am I doing this? Shits and giggles? No, I'm not. So definitely take care of yourself. Get that information. Tell a friend. Get them to get that book right away, right away. So here we are right here. So here we go. We got a liver filled with copper. We got a liver filled with now dermatoxins because we got viruses eating the copper. See how it works? Viruses eat the copper. That's a toxic heavy metal. And then release a copper-based dermatoxin. It is no longer the typical neurotoxin. It is now a dermatoxin. The dermatoxin loves to get to the surface of the skin, creating patches of all kinds of things, all kinds of mystery patches. Guess what mystery patches are? Eczema and psoriasis. You know why it's a mystery? Because what the hell is eczema and psoriasis? What is it? It's a name. They don't know what causes it. You think medical research and science has the answers? You think they figured it out? They haven't figured it out. They don't know it's a dermatoxin being produced by a virus, and then the dermatoxin hits the skin, causes eczema and psoriasis. They have no idea about that. They don't. I mean, there are podcast doctors stealing, poaching medical meme information that was published long ago and saying how metals create eczema now and stuff like that. They have no proof. There's no study. There's no science. There's nothing out there. They just steal it right from medical meme podcast or the books or whatever. And then they say it or they talk about it. And medical research and science has no studies on this. They don't know what causes eczema and psoriasis. They don't know what causes the patches on the neck. They don't know anything like this. Plaque psoriasis. They only name it plaque psoriasis not because they know what's wrong with you. How screwed up is that? Do you think one day the world would ever get right in this field? I don't think so. I don't. Like, you may be thinking it's getting right in other areas because you see stuff all over the internet right now. Everybody's freaking out politically about everything else, right? The left is after the right's after the left. Political stuff's coming out left and right. Everybody thinks they're like, there's the conspiracy's been solved here, conspiracy's been solved there, right? There's YouTube channels and podcasts built on this stuff. And everybody's just suckers listening to it because it's all theater. And in the end, they really don't get down to the taproot of things in the end. You know how it works? Well, in the medical field, they'll name it plaque psoriasis, but there's no anything behind it about the cause. There's a theory. They call it plaque because of how it flakes, But you think like there's a real legitimate term, like it's legitimate data somewhere because scientists have been working on your disease or condition or symptom about your plaque psoriasis or your eczema, but there isn't. It's empty. It's like sand through the hands. They have no answers. They can treat it with steroids, biologics. They can throw some drugs at you, maybe some antibiotics if they think something's infected, and they'll throw drugs at you, but they don't have answers. I'm giving you the answer. That's what I'm doing. Every reason why you should be getting Liver Rescue and Cleanse the Heal and every other book. Because you're getting the answer. After this live, I'm going to go, I gave it my best for the moment. I hope to God someone heard and they're trying to heal themselves. I hope to God. And so here's psoriasis right there. Let's say eczema. Let's do eczema patches, right? Some eczema patches right here. They don't have answers for it. It's a copper inside the liver being a food for a pathogen, virus. The virus releases, it pees and poos and releases excrement, excretions, waste. That waste is a dermatoxin. That's a copper-based dermatoxin that ends up in the skin. Because the skin's trying to what? The skin's trying to what? Detox it out. All right.